and Jumbo. Hello everyone. I'm Carl Gann, President of Orphans Africa.
Say good morning. And how are you? I am fine.
Tanzania is a country in East Africa just below the equator. They have 2.5 million orphans as a result of the AIDS epidemic, malaria, tuberculosis, and other diseases. Orphans Africa is a non-profit charity organization in the United States. Our goal is to educate orphans and empower widows in East Africa with our field partner called the Maryland Orphans Projects Foundation. We have several short-term goals. One of the first in 2008 is to finish the funding and building of a school at Majohe, which educates orphans. Another thing that we have as a short-term goal is to continue the assessment of the future needs of the Maryland Orphans Project. We want to help widows develop business plans, to develop ideas of how they can start engaging in either training or develop their own employment, and additionally that will assist not just the widows and the orphans, but it will help with the Maryland Orphans Projects Foundation for assisting the development of many other MOP groups.
When I got to Romania, it was absolutely an amazing country. They were still going around in horses and carts and things like that, but the toughest thing was seeing how their children were living and the conditions in the orphanages. The way that the children lived, they always put on a very good front, but it was very difficult. Matter of fact, the children were very brutal to one another. I think our influence there kind of lightened things up between the children and showed them that someone really, really cared for them. You couldn't help but not keep going back to these kids because it was so amazing how children aren't fed. They were never loved. These were the kids who were on 60 Minutes, who were never held. I think the most heart-wrenching part of the whole thing was when a child walked up to me and called me a liar. And my interpreter said, "Why did you call her a liar?" And the child replied, "Because people go there and they never come back again. So when we say we care about them and things like that, and you say, and they look at you and call you a liar, well, at that point, I had to keep going back. And not just to them, I'm going to go back and see children in Africa. I'm going to help widows, things like that." To walk away at the end, we were all loaded up into the Land Rover when the play scheme was over. We were the last team out. The kids knew that they weren't going to see us again for another year. And just to see the children hanging onto the bars from the orphanage and crying, absolutely crying their eyes out, screaming our names. And we're hanging on to the Land Rover. Some of them are on top of it, but we all had to roll out together as a group. And once we got past the gates, once the children couldn't see us, we would just have to pull over to the side and start crying ourselves, because they were so much a part of us by that time.